Morning.
Turnaround from last night to Sunday. Has everyone come through unscathed?
Well, how can I really tell you? But as you rightly said, it's a really quick turnaround and get myself back together quickly. But hopefully everybody will be okay. Yeah.
Any update on Paqueta's injury?
Well, there's no more update really from where we are. We're still dealing with a player who's injured at the moment, and we've not had any more from the medical team to suggest that he's going to be back.
Are you fearing long term then, or?
No, not really. We just said all along. He's been out for a few weeks, and I don't think in any way he'll be back for this weekend.
And how's Mikel Antonio progressing?
Mikel's coming on a little bit more. He's doing some running on the grass now. He's not worked with the team, not trained with the team, but he's training outside at the moment.
Projected return date?
I couldn't give you that either at the moment. No.
The transfer window ended late last night with Benrahma's loan deal falling through. Can you update us any more on what happened there?
Well, obviously it looks like there's been some problems with the paperwork at the last minute, but overall, it's probably not a question for me. I only learnt about it when I came off the pitch and later on last night. So I think all we can do is look in to see what happened, and hopefully we'll resolve that.
Leon have accused the club of a lack of respect. Are you able to fill in the gap there?
It's a big word to use before we get a chance to sort of show exactly what happened or what didn't happen. So, as I said, I'm not really the right man to speak about that.
And how do you think he'll react, Benrahma? It's obviously very tough for a player when they think they're going and then they're not. How will you deal with that? How do you think he'll deal with it?
It's something I've never had to deal with before, and I'm an experienced manager, so we'll have to see. He's obviously suspended for this week, so he's not available at the moment. So we'll deal with it when he gets back into a period where we can play him.
Do you think he will be fully committed to the cause?
I would expect so, yeah.
And in terms of Pablo Fornals, is that deal going to go through, do you think?
I think there's a chance the Pablo deal has got a chance for that to be ratified, because I think we did get the paperwork tied up just before deadline. I understand, but again, I couldn't confirm whether it will or it won't at the moment, and as soon as it does, I'm sure we'll let you know.
Was it tough to let him go? He's been a key man for you for so long.
It was tough to let any of them go, but ultimately football clubs and players want to move on and try something else. Maybe they're just missing out on game time, not having as much game time as what they had. They want to play, and I respect that.
And how do you feel the window went overall for you? You haven't brought in an attacking player, but you have strengthened.
Yeah, we wanted to strengthen. I think the window overall, I think if you ask that question to most of the managers, I think they'd probably say something similar. No, we worked really hard to try and bring in an attacking player as well, but we couldn't quite get there.
And why do you think it was such a quiet window this time?
I think that answer as much as me. Probably the FFP probably played a part, and wasn't as many transfers. Certainly not as much big transfers in this window as in the past. It's also a window which I don't think MD really sees as something which is a lot of business done normally. But I think this year was probably an exception where there was probably the least amount of business done for a long, long time.
Thank you.
Move on to PLP.
Oh, sorry.
Hello. Six game unbeaten run in the league. Manchester United at Old Trafford next. At the end of December, you beat them 2-0. Does this give you and the squad additional confidence that the last time you went up against them in recent times, the tactics were spot on?
Well, we played very well against them here. It felt very quick. This seems like quite a quick turnaround game, to be honest. And but obviously we're going to Old Trafford, which has always been a notorious hard place to get results. We'll go there and try and put on a good performance. We've shown good league form in the main. We have to try and keep it up. We have to keep hanging in there, especially at a time when we've lost a few players through African nations or through injury, through suspension. So we have to try and make sure that we keep with it at the moment.
And after the Bournemouth match, you said we don't look as if we're really scoring at the moment, so that's a little bit of a concern. The transfer window has now closed. How do you address this ahead of you have a few tough fixtures in Feb coming up? How do you address this in the short term for each other?
Well, the short term is we've got Mohamed Kudus back, who actually made us a goal last night, who we've not had for the majority of the games that we're talking about. we're without Lucas Paqueta at the moment. We're without Mickey Antonio at the moment. So I think there's probably mitigating circumstances why we're probably feeling that we're not getting quite as many goals. So they would be the main reasons I feel that we've sort of dried up a little bit.
And you also mentioned giving Bournemouth a little bit of a leg up from the start, which put the team under a little bit of pressure. And away match at Old Trafford, as you mentioned, is really hard to get 3 points normally. How does the team mentally and physically need to adapt to start games a bit more aggressive and in control?
Well, I think we're probably one of the teams who I think we were top of the league for being the team in front at half time. So the way we play in the main has been that we've been in front in most games, and us going behind has not been a norm. The truth be known, I think we gave them a leg up because of a poor mistake, and then we had to chase the game in a different way. We didn't play so well, but overall we got back in the game. Excuse me, got back in the game, and look, we got a point out of the game from coming from behind. So the truth is, we haven't been behind in too many games. We've quite often been sort of leading from the front, really.
Thank you. Lauren?
I thought I'd just comment about Manchester United on Sunday and Ten Hag, their manager. He's had a little bit of a tough time, I guess, recently in the media and maybe with his team. What kind of thoughts do you perhaps have on him from yourself as manager?
I think he's in a privileged position to be manager of Manchester United. I think he understands that and respects it. I think he's trying to enforce how he wants the team to play and work, and you can only give him credit for that. And when you're in that job, you are under a lot of pressure. You're expected to win, and you're expected to perform well, and he understands it. I think he's trying to get himself through a period where he can start building again, and they certainly picked up a really good result against Wolves last night.
For yourselves, it's only 1 defeat in the last 11 matches, but a draw from the last 3 Premier League games. As a manager, what do you make of so many draws? Is it kind of like points lost at all to you?
Well, sometimes you have to make sure that you don't lose. So, and there's a couple of these games that I didn't think we played particularly well. The bit we've not been conceding a lot of goals, but that's why I talked about. I just felt as if the chances we'd been getting, we hadn't been quite taking, or maybe not as clinical. I mean, you have to say at Sheffield we probably had. There was other circumstances why we didn't win the game, or we would have had 3 points in the game. It wasn't down to us. So we can play better. We know that, and that's the only thing I'm looking at is us doing better and try to. I gauge my team by our performances. I want to improve. But look, in the main, if I've got a team who keep picking up points and we're not doing quite as well, I see that as a positive. Probably realising that back on it, different club. Maybe sometimes you realise that got to keep stepping up and keep doing it, and I think he'll probably have realised that as well. And I don't think it was a shock to us. I think we'd said in the press conference that I felt that he was going to be needing a little bit of time. Got the best part of 70 minutes last night, so that'll help him, and keep bringing him along. He's a top player. He's an England international. There's no question marks about him as a player. It's just him needing a bit of time, game time, and getting that opportunity to get back to his levels again.